And his fun fact is he was a well-documented binge drinker.
Nice.
Isn't that fun?
Just like Winston Churchill with champagne.
No. Churchill was a consistent drinker.
Oh, he wasn't a binge drinker.
He was not a binge drinker. So Macdonald was not consistently drunk. He just, went on benders.
Right.
And so he'd go for major periods. So he's known to frequent around Parliament. He would frequent all the pubs.
Oh.
And then there's this famous moment during an election debate. He was so drunk that he vomits on stage. Let me tell you about... right? And everyone's like, right? French people are like, sacre bleu.
Does history repeat itself, or does it just rhyme? This is the podcast where a guy who knows his history talks to a guy who doesn't know it at all. The self-appointed greatest historian ever and his BFF Jono present History Rhymes.
Welcome to the History Rhymes podcast. Welcome back to the History Rhymes podcast. What an adventure we've been on over the past few weeks. And you know what? It's getting to be that special time of year, where us Canadians start to gather and, celebrate this wonderful maple leaf nation of ours. Maple syrup, moose, meese. Yes.
So get your darts. Get your Molson.
Get there, bud.
Get their maple syrup, eh?
Maple syrup there.
Don't know too many Canadians that talk like this, but apparently they do.
Not a one, except for the guys in that Rush song, Great White North.
And Shoresy.
We know who they are. Did you ever watch that show?
Shoresy?
Yeah.
Or the Doug and Phil McKenzie.
Doug and Phil McKenzie.
No, it's not Phil.
I was just agreeing with you on Shoresy. I've never seen Shoresy.
All right.
But hey, we've got new, what are these called? Popper stoppers, mic covers, yes. Pop stoppers, gob stoppers, yeah. In our lovely brand colors. We've gotten to that point where we're able to afford $5 foamies. So the podcast is finally paying us in dividends.
I mean, the board still has to rule on it, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, this is a Canadian entrepreneurial journey here.
Which means it's heavily government subsidized.
Yeah, and we don't get much. So, hey, maybe we can apply for a CBC grant. That'll be great. But not before we diss the CBC real hard on this podcast. Yeah, that's right. We're not going to go easy like most Canadians would on other things on our own nation. We are going to go hard. We're going to dive in. We're going to analyze ourselves. We're going to be introspective Canadians today. Ooh. And of course, we have the great historian of Canada, son of the greatest economist in Canada.
Yes. Wow.
But a self-made historian.
Yeah.
Some might say self-taught. Yeah, as well. And self-PhD assigned. Tom Allen. Welcome, Tom.
Hey, thanks, Jono.
To your own podcast.
Welcome to you as well. My goodness, it's been a while since we've gotten together. I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be fun. We've just been through the history of Iran, which was very heavy. Controversial, maybe. My pronunciation was terrible throughout it.
You got slagged in the comments at least once.
But that was fun. That was good. I enjoyed the comments, and I think I made a friend.
I think you did.
In one of the comments.
Or an enemy. It's hard to tell.
We've exchanged information. We're meeting down at a dockside bar in Granville Island.
Let us know if you find the body of Tom Allen floating in the Fraser River in the near future.
So Canadian history is known to be a little bit dry, kind of like Canada dry.
Yeah.
But
BC isn't known to be dry. What a winter we've had.
Yeah, well said.
Thank you.
That's a good range.
All us weather-caring Canadians would understand.
So I thought it'd be cool. We'll do a 2 parts. We're going to try to do this in 2 parts. We're going to rip through the prime ministers of Canada, okay?
I'm surprisingly bad at that Canadian accent for a Canadian.
I don't think any Canadian can do it. They're all just like, they end up being like Irish. They're like, where's Bud? There you go.
There you go.
I'm from Newfoundland.
We're a lot better at that
now,
one.
I wouldn't be able to start without a quick book plug here. I actually found a few years ago when I was set to teach a Canadian history course that there were quite a few gaps in my Canadian history knowledge because I had neglected studying my own nation's history because I also found it a little boring. But once you dive in, it's quite interesting.
That's a nicer cover than
like
Julius Caesar's self-written biography.
Yes, you didn't like that orange one.
Nah, it was too
So this is
cheap.
a nice map. So this is Desmond Morton's A Short History of Canada, every 7th edition. Every Canadian should read
This
it.
looks brand new.
Don't you always do this? And I've read it. Jeez.
This thing hasn't even been cracked.
Yeah, like it's
There's
called
no
being
spine
good
bends.
to your books.
I'm
Like,
pretty good to my books
Yeah,
too.
you are.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to bend my books because I thought it was cool, like bend the spines, like I wanted it to look red.
Yeah.
But then I realized that did a lot of damage. And Dan, who's running the podcast here and owns Speakeasy Podcast Studios, run the ad. The History of Rhymes podcast is brought to you by the Speakeasy Podcast Studio, where the speaking is easy and the bevies go down squeezy.
Like Gatorade.
Yeah, that's right. In our mugs.
Check out speakeasypodcast.ca.
It's at the bottom of the screen. Check it out. Anyways, we're back. So he had the same books as me, and he didn't do that to his books, and I had book regret.
And we have other friends who shall remain nameless who destroy books.
Riley?
I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it, but... All right, speaking of Riley, let's talk about the prime ministers, okay? So
We can't talk about
Jono,
Riley because he's famous.
Can you walk us through, you have a little outline in front of you there, walk us through the insane, almost, they've been called near dictatorial powers of the prime minister. Okay,
Right.
Of the and you might think, well, it's the same as like the Australian prime minister. It's the same as the UK prime minister. It's a little different.
Not near as fun. They don't have that accent, mate.
Reggie Digi. It's right. But they're a bit different.
Mate.
The prime minister is actually even more powerful than the British counterpart. Go.
Yes.
Take it away. The powers of the prime minister.
Okay, so the powers of the prime minister. The prime minister is Canada's head of government, folks, meaning they lead the country's elected government, while the king and or governor general is the formal head of state. That is a title, not head of province. It's just state.
Yes, state meaning government,
Yeah,
federal
so
government. Yeah.
Just for you
That's
idiots
good.
out there.
That's good.
So the PM is usually the leader of the party with the most seats in the House of Commons. We all know the House of Commons, the place where everybody argues and yells at each other, and Trudeau got in trouble for eating a Mars bar.
And pushing
2019.
elbowing a woman.
Yeah, another heritage moment in Canadian history. So their power depends on keeping support in Parliament.
And pause there. So they usually are. They can actually be from the Senate, and that has happened once.
Nice.
Okay,
I know
keep
some
going.
Star Wars
And we do
Phantom
have-
Menace references are coming soon.
I am the Senate. We do have a Senate in Canada. It is appointed by the Prime Minister. Continue.
Okay, so the PM chooses the cabinet,
Yeah.
deciding which MPs become ministers and who runs major departments like finance, defense, and foreign affairs. Defense, yeah, right.
Yeah.
In Canada, what?
Or like,
We got like jets from the 70s.
yeah. Well, we'll talk
in
about
two
that.
different Air Force bases,
We'll
too.
talk about that.
Cold Lake, Alberta. Shout out to you, F-18. We love you. You're doing a great job. And apparently they have a killer country festival up there. Anyways, so the PM sets the government's agenda, shaping laws, budgets, national priorities, and Canada's response to crises. Do I need to pause here? No.
Nope.
The PM represents Canada internationally, meeting foreign leaders and helping guide Canada's role in the world. You've seen that in the news sometimes. The PM is powerful, but not all powerful. They can be removed if Parliament loses confidence in them, which happens. We've seen that happen.
I shall do a vote of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum. Into the bureaucrats.
And then can you do a Jar Jar thing quickly?
Misa tika tata, give a my voice says Misa tika the emergency powers to Chancellor Palpatine. If only there was a senator brave enough to offer such an idea.
I'll have to work on my Jar Jar impersonation for next time. You can put me on the spot.
I can do it. It's just when my voice can't be gone, and we're at the end of the school year. It's gone. Keep it going.
Yeah, it's over. You've done the Jar Jar impersonation like 50 times for your class.
Just to think that people are gonna die.
Yeah, and that segues nicely into the PM is powerful, but not all powerful, like we mentioned. And what do we? If
So
they can, their party replaces them, or voters defeat them in an election.
Now,
so no confidence.
Yeah.
Party replaces them.
Yeah.
Voters defeat them in an election.
Yeah, or they resign.
That's right.
So the PM is powerful, not all powerful. They appoint almost everyone including judges, and all of it is like on the suggestion of Parliament. They appoint the Senate. The Senate is the sober second thought. It's the House of sober second thought. So they're the editors, right?
That's
a bill
nice.
gets sent to the Senate. They'll be like, they cannot reject it, but they can be like,
And they cannot
they
drink.
can be like, I am the Senate, and then they send. They cannot drink. Senate is a
Sober
good job. I
second
think I
thought.
just looked it
The
up.
first layer is not sober.
Senators make, I think, around $200,000 a year. Governor General's a great job. I just looked up; it was over $300,000 a year, and they get a house and they get like a huge stipend for. I think they had $100,000 for their outfits.
And they get a house?
They get a house, a really nice house in Ottawa.
Why don't we get that? I work hard.
Yeah, well,
Down
go
at the
work
mill?
for the government. You don't speak French.
Oh, yeah, right.
Back to the French.
Wait a minute.
So,
is it a French accent or
so
French that's required?
We will unpack the powers of the Prime Minister as we go on, but
and they are many,
there are many.
surprisingly.
But one
don't
thing I
seem
just learned,
powerful,
one
though.
thing I just learned, and this is stolen from Tristan Hopper. Just did a YouTube short or a reel, whatever, from
Shout out
National
Tristan.
Post. He is the man. I think he's one of the only honest reporters left in Canada, as our freedom of expression is slowly being eroded.
And that's something coming from you, a staunch liberal.
Yeah, well, lowercase l.
Yeah.
There's a difference in the UK Prime Minister's power and the Canadian Prime Minister. So the Canadian Prime Minister, he is the head of his party, and he has huge influence over who runs as an MP. Okay. In the UK, in fact, he can be like, that person's not going to be running in that constituency, that person not, and he can actually, so if you cross him, he'll kick you out of the party, and then now you lose the next election. In the UK, it is the local party that decides who the candidate is. So even though I might be like a Labour MP, I don't have to support the Labour Prime Minister and everything. It's why like Keir Starmer just like lost all those local elections a few weeks ago, like municipal elections.
Right.
And all of a sudden his MPs are like calling for him to resign. Whereas like Justin Trudeau lost several elections, like he only had minority governments. At no point he had ethics scandals, all these things. At no point did he think of resigning. In fact, he exercised even more influence over his party.
Well, they were voting for his future
there are
value,
only-
which was dating Katy Perry.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Which that's going to be a rhyme coming up. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But
Did someone else
so
date
there's
Katy
only
Perry in
two
Parliament?
checks on the Prime Minister's power, which would be the Governor General, which is going to be wiped out in the King Bing affair, which we'll get to.
King Bing?
And then does somebody say Bing?
Bing Crosby.
Well, I don't know how I got involved. All right, well, let's get into it, and we will look at the King Bing. We'll look at the stuff. But my guiding questions is, why is Canada a country? Good question.
I can see these here.
Who are these prime ministers?
Yeah.
Why is the prime minister so powerful? And why, as Canadians, do we barely know any of the prime ministers? I was talking to some of my teacher compatriots today, and I said, "Have you ever heard of this guy, this guy, this guy?" And they're like, "No, never heard."
What bill is he on?
So close your laptop, John, and let's hear. I want
First
you to give
of
me.
all, I just want to say that when you asked the question, who are these Canadian prime ministers, I just hear it said in a Jerry Seinfeld voice.
Who are these prime ministers?
Okay.
Who are your top 3 favorite prime ministers? Go.
Okay.
YouTube
Wilfrid
short stars.
Laurier.
Okay, yeah, okay, good.
Jean Chrétien.
Okay.
Justin Trudeau.
Dude, that list started out really good, and then
Yeah.
it's like that got from bad to worse.
It got pretty bad there for a while.
Okay.
Stephen Harper. We love Stephen.
So we
He
will.
bought F-35s, and Justin Trudeau canceled the order. I only care about fighter jets.
We've gotten there.
Shout out Cold Lake, Alberta.
Yeah. In fact, we're gonna just send this podcast just to Cold Lake,
to
just
them.
bathe them in the radio waves somehow.
They need some, they need some,
So-
they need their flowers.
At the beginning of my Canadian history course, we do a simulation, a Confederation simulation.
That sounds fun.
It's
and also lame.
It's a good time.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It is. Where the kids,
Just add simulation to Confederation. Go on. Sorry, Tom.
Dan, can you pull up our
We
map?
respect the profession of teaching.
Yeah.
I'm here.
How do I reach these kids?
Yeah. We should have called this
Dan, you're gonna have to get
podcast
okay.
Detention.
So we do a thing where now the original provinces or colonies were just Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland. And so we do a Confederation activity where the fathers Confederation come together, and the kids, they have a sheet in front of them where they have like what their colony needs to get, and they get points if they pass those things in our kind of fake parliament we do. But all of it is to see if Confederation can actually happen. Generally, it's almost 50-50 that Confederation doesn't happen when the kids do it. Because Canada, it was such an unlikely story for, like, it's not like the American Revolution where they're like, we're going to unite and we're going to overthrow the British. The Canadians are like, we're going to unite so we can keep the French involved, keep the indigenous people down, and keep the Americans out.
The three-pronged approach.
The three-pronged approach. Because
the trident, the holy trident.
At the end of the American Civil War in 1865, the Americans have like 1 million well-trained men. They have the greatest fighting force in the world because they've just fought each other and they're really well-trained.
You said in a previous podcast that the greatest fighting force was the Roman army.
In the world at the time.
At the time. Okay.
So
so you do agree.
I said we were bigger than Jesus at the time. I didn't say we're bigger than Jesus.
That's John Lennon.
That's John Lennon.
All right. So they were worried about an American invasion because there's these like, huge American armies just looking north going like, we could do it. Do we want to?
Yes.
Wow. And they were worried about Canada East, the colony of Canada East, which is modern-day Quebec. They were worried about them just leaving, right? And they were like, there's rich resources. We need them there. And so Quebec is going to have a huge influence over Canadian history.
Of course it is.
Because we're always just scared of them leaving. And then the whole middle of Canada was called Rupert's Land.
That just sounds like a really unhealthy relationship.
I'm going to leave.
It's like, no, please don't go.
I'll do anything.
I'll give you so much.
I'll become bilingual. You always know I was bicurious. Now. And there was just this economic. So there was Rupert's Land was in the middle.
Yeah.
And they wanted to continue to own that. They were worried that the United States would annex it. But of course, every time we took over a new province or a new province came in, it was like, what about the French? And it was like, we have to make sure, and that's going to be, and that's going to be an issue. And so there was.
And that's why we have French on our cereal boxes.
It is. It's why we have French everywhere. It's why you cannot be prime minister without speaking French.
It's right. Why when I read Advil bottles to remind myself what the dose is, I still have to figure out which side has the English on it.
18.
It's like, oh no!
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
What am I going to do? I got a headache. I'm
So
kidding.
let's
I don't
dive
take
in.
Advil very often.
Let's dive in, and we're gonna rip, Jono. We're gonna rip these PMs.
We're gonna fly through. We're gonna rip
because
into Canada.
we've got many.
Yeah.
Now, all right. I'm going to try to do my best to describe the party's vibe at each. We're going to kind of go through eras.
Yeah.
And we're going to start with the Confederation era. Okay,
so
all the guys are going to
Hudson Bay Company at all during this?
We're not going to really talk about them because we're talking about the prime ministers. They
right.
also just died. But the Hudson Bay Company, they actually were worried that the Hudson's Bay Company could fall under American influence unless the Western colonies united and Canada expanded west. So the Hudson's Bay was running so much of the west, and they were worried that the Americans would take it over, and then with doing so, take over Rupert's Land. So Canada, they're kind of awkward bedfellows, we would say. All these different colonies come together. Newfoundland is just going to say no. They're going to be like, again, like, we're not going to do it. They don't join until 1949.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't join Canada until 1949. Think about that.
It's a good year to join Canada. Yeah,
I was. So Confederation era,
life.
we have two parties, okay?
Yeah.
So Canada comes together, they sign everything. We're not going to go through that story because I want to get through, and I want to get to the boys and one gal.
Yeah.
So there's
That's my
the
other
conservatives,
favorite.
but we'll call them the liberal conservatives. They're called the liberal conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the conservatives, they supported a strong central government, close ties to Britain, and big nation-building projects like the railroad, like the CPR.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where, modern conservatives would look and go, we don't really recognize a whole lot of that, where it's like strong central government, really. Yeah. Whereas the liberals were classically liberal. They wanted provincial autonomy.
Yeah.
Fiscal restraint, so actually like not spending much money, civil liberties, and less government spending. So liberals back then would look a little bit more like some of our conservative policies now. So let's take a look at our first prime minister, John, if we can skip ahead, or Dan. There he is, the man, the legend.
Sir Wilfrid de Laurier.
Sir Wilfrid de Laurier.
Sir
John A.
DeLorean.
Macdonald. Sir John A. Macdonald. Like, can you imagine an American looking at George Washington and going, "That's John Adams," right? No,
just
never.
kidding. I know who he is.
Now,
I
Sir John A.
recognize him.
Macdonald-
He's on the $5 bill.
Sir John A. Macdonald.
He's on the 10.
Sir John A. Macdonald was born in Glasgow, Scotland.
I haven't seen cash in a long time. Okay,
Glasgow, Scotland.
Glasgow, Scotland. He's all the way from Glasgow, Scotland.
Yeah, he was imported.
Nice.
So he's
that
gonna
comb over screams
Dude,
Scotland.
he's
import.
now, of course, he's a controversial figure now because of residential schools.
Yeah.
And his statues have been torn down across Canada because
Or covered in paint.
and covered in paint, red paint. Now he had 2 terms from 1867 to 1873, and then this is the weird thing about our prime ministers, right?
He's holding in his hand.
He's pointing, I think.
Oh,
You're gonna have
okay.
to go to the next picture.
This
He's
is
not
like
listening to
this
me.
is like a light recruitment. It's kind of like Uncle Sam, but not. It's like, please join.
So his party is the Liberal Conservative Party.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have 2 terms, 1867 to
Liberal
18...
Conservative Party.
Oh shoot, he didn't listen to the first part.
There's a picture on the screen.
All right.
I
So-
have a. Apparently, I look at the screens too much, but I enjoy it. I like the colors. I
Yeah,
like
the
the visual
pictures.
aids. Well, I just love our country so much, especially when I get to see all the provinces in their
Yeah.
own unique colorways.
That's it. I mean,
kinda
that's good
nice.
because some people may have missed that. So it's not super important to dwell on.
I'm just glad none of it's there now. I remember when they first became part of the country. What was that? 2000 and
it
it was
was
1999. Yeah.
99.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I feel like we were in grade 4.
yeah.
I was like, Northwest Territory is way too big. Got to split it in half.
All right.
what I
So there's
thought.
the conservatives.
Yeah. Go ahead.
They were called the Liberal Conservatives.
Yes, I heard.
And then there was the Liberals. Okay. So he's a Liberal Conservative. He has 2 times in office, 1867, 1873, and then 1878 to 1891. So very long period in office, but 2 separate terms.
Yeah.
And of course, our prime ministers have no limit. They can, like Justin Trudeau could easily come back, and I pray he does.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I keep telling him like.
yeah. When
I
we're
just
at
keep
Coachella,
messaging
we're
him
like,
on Instagram.
JT, when are you gonna come back, bro?
He's like, how many Coachellas till we
He's
get
like,
you back?
bro, I love you. Now,
And then we go off. We'll leave
Macdonald
Katy
Macdonald
Perry.
is important because he is going to be the huge advocate for a strong central and strong federal government, where it's like we actually need our government.
centralized power.
Yeah, like our federal government is actually quite powerful, especially compared to the United States government before the Civil War, which was very
Right.
decentralized. He's going to be he's the father of Confederation. Okay,
Right.
so he's a brilliant politician. And he is going to recognize that we need the Canadian Pacific Railroad to tie this nation together. So he's going to push the country west. He's going to, the Red River Rebellion's going to happen. Do you remember that with like Louis Riel and
Yes.
the Métis and everything? And
Yeah.
that's going to happen under his time. And there is going to be the First Nations dispossession as Canada moves westward. And he's not going to design the residential schools, but he's going to institute the Indian Act. And Egerton Ryerson is going to be a big part of that. But he saw it all within this. He actually had the vision of Canada.
And sorry again, what year was this again?
This is
That he started his
1867 to 1873,
right.
and then 1878 to 1891.
Interesting.
So
What would it have must have been like to push west at that time with that amount of undeveloped land, right? Because there would have been some established areas at that time. Vancouver wasn't even really.
No, yeah, it was. So BC, there was stuff. It wasn't a colony, but Vancouver was a settlement at the time, and
Was it established? It was called Granville or something at that time, or it had a different name. It wasn't Vancouver.
I don't know.
I forget why.
I think it was
Anyways.
called Vancouver.
It became Vancouver. It was.
I mean, you're
something
more of a
else.
Vancouverite than me, so you would know.
Yeah, I know this. Anyways, carry on. Yeah.
Yeah, so he actually was a very brilliant politician. Oh, and I'm gonna have a fun fact for each prime minister. Okay,
Yeah.
and his fun fact is he was a well-documented binge drinker.
Nice.
Isn't that fun?
Just like
And
Winston
so-
Churchill
so
with
he was-
champagne.
Well, no. Churchill was a consistent drinker.
Oh, he wasn't a
right?
binge
He was
drinker.
not a binge drinker. So Macdonald was not consistently drunk. He just went on benders.
Right.
And so he'd go
At
for
the end of
major
the day.
periods. So he's known to frequent around Parliament. He would frequent all the pubs.
Oh.
And then there's this famous moment during an election debate. He was so drunk that he vomits on stage. Like, just like, well, let me tell you about, right? And everyone's like, oh, right? French people are like, sacre bleu. No, he said, I have the quote. He goes, I get sick sometimes, not because of drink or any other cause, except that I am forced to listen to the ranting of my honorable opponent.
Oh.
And everyone's like, oh, that's so funny.
Epic.
Vote for him.
Vote for
I like him because he drinks.
Standing ovation. Clean up the vomit.
Yeah, the janitor's just like,
like,
that's my prime minister. It's Willie from Simpsons.
Perfect.
My
Yes.
grease. And so, but he really has,
Precious grease.
he has a vision, but he also has Canada's first scandal. So he loses, he's kicked out of power in 1873 because of the famous Pacific scandal. Now,
Where he threw up on
the Pacific Ocean.
like, that's great.
We finally made it to the Pacific. Prime Minister, you're not looking so good. I just need to get my sea legs. We're on land. Now, so
yes.
now what I'm going to describe to you.
What a dishonorable
is,
moment.
What I'm going to describe the Pacific scandal. It is actually just what our politicians do now every day. So
He was a pioneer.
he was a pioneer. So Macdonald's Conservative government awarded the contract of the Transcontinental CPR, right, to Sir Hugh Allen's syndicate in exchange for $350,000 in illegal campaign donations.
Oh, he took
So
a
they
bribe.
He took a bribe. That's $9 million in today's money,
Nice.
which our politicians would call chump change.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
chump
even
change.
get out of bed for $9 million.
See, what you need to do is have it be a donation through a charity.
Yeah.
That's
like
the
like
problem.
we'd call it some fake name like We.
Yeah, something.
Day,
We
something.
something. We rail.
So the deal was exposed as corrupt because Allen's group had American investors, and right now they're like, we got to keep the Americans out. Which, of course, when
We're doing that again.
one of the questions, back in the Macdonald was like, elbows up, and people are like, that's the lamest thing we've ever heard. And like, what does that
He's
even
drunk
mean?
again.
He's like,
He's on a bender.
He's just leaning up against the wall, elbows up.
It's gonna be a lot of vomit.
So this actually leads to one of those
In
votes
history.
of no confidence. Padme Amidala comes in. She
Yeah.
goes, I vote for no confidence in Chancellor Valorum.
And then Palpatine's like, yes.
If only there was someone brave enough to step into his place. So it's Canada's first, and it brings down his government, but he would return. Now, in between, let's move on to number 2, Danny boy. Number 2, the John Adams of Canada, Alexander Mackenzie.
Oh yeah.
Alexander Mackenzie.
Look at that.
1873 to 78.
He looks like a friend of ours who loves the podcast.
Yeah, he looks like...
Shout
he
out
looks like-
Denver.
He looks like, oh, wow, he does, yeah. Jeez. I mean,
Does he listen?
Yeah.
maybe in 40 years with a beard.
Shout out to Denver. We love you. Thank you.
So,
Thanks
yeah.
for the fan mail.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, he's a liberal, straight up.
Straight up.
'Kay.
Like a modern day liberal.
Nope. Like the
Oh, the
one I
liberal
defined
of the time.
of the Confederation era.
Okay, yeah.
So he was about reform. He was all about anti-corruption. He's an everyday man, if you can't tell.
He's like Davy Crockett.
Yep.
A real man of the people.
He is. Yes,
Yeah,
you're right. You're right.
Dan,
Yep.
I'm right.
Sure.
This guy
More,
doesn't
John.
know American
I was-
history at
well,
all.
I know. I know Davy Crockett. I just was like,
Oh, he knows he died at
How
the
is he
Alamo,
like
but
Davy
what?
Crockett?
remember the Alamo. He didn't live in the woods shooting raccoons. And
But he's a
putting them on
man
his
of
head.
the. He's a man of the people. He went in there to serve.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Because
So
Davy
he-
Crockett did that.
Yeah. Was Davy Crockett a politician? Did he
He
run?
was a politician and he was extremely popular.
Did
Yeah.
he run for Congress?
He ran against Andrew Jackson.
He was a very.
Right,
He
right.
went into politics almost just out of obligation. He felt like he needed to. He didn't have any desire to be powerful or rich,
So
right,
he's-
Dan?
He's sort of the Spencer Pratt of his
Yeah.
time.
More of a Chris Pratt.
So it is Pratt, right? Spencer.
Spencer Pratt,
Yeah.
that's right, in Los
All right.
Angeles.
So Mackenzie takes power after the Pacific scandal. Canadians are already like, can we trust our government? He's like, hold my beer. And McDonald's like, I'll hold it.
I don't know, I'm getting involved in
Now, so he actually establishes the Supreme Court of Canada in 1875.
Nice.
He strengthens federal institutions, and he also this was the first exchange of power, where it was like, it's kind of like when John Adams became president after George Washington. People were like, how's this going to go? Like, we've had one prime minister, and then oh, well, okay, we can just do this, right? In every other, and this is what's crazy about democracies.
So we have a government.
In every other country where there's a monarchy or whatever, if there's an exchange of power and it's not in the sun, someone's going to die, and a lot of people are going to die.
Mm-hmm.
So you were right. He is a
Especially
man of the
back
people.
then.
His fun fact, he was a stonemason before becoming prime minister.
Oh,
so he built canals.
He's a Freemason under. There's a bunch
Yeah,
of
we
people.
do. So he helped build canals.
Yeah, he's
When
another
I
corrupt
said
politician.
when I said he
Take it back.
established the Supreme Court of Canada, he also built courthouses. So he literally built it from the ground up. And he built a bomb-proof arch at Fort Henry.
He saw him. He built the vision. He's like, I'm going to be in here one day.
We need a man of stone. He was a dwarf.
Yeah.
Now, like from Lord of the Rings. Okay,
What kind of tools would he have been using?
I knew
At the time, just chipping away.
hammer, chisel, other things. Probably levees,
Yeah.
planes. No.
Nice. I
think
picturing
just-
him kind of like massaging it with some water and some sandpaper.
The thing I like about stone is once you start cutting, you never know where it'll take you.
Anyways, he got into politics because he's like, this whole trade thing sucks.
Yeah, he's like, I want to get drunk like that guy.
Yeah, he was
Like,
he was building the
that
left
guy's
wing
literally
or the west wing.
He's literally day drinking. Our prime minister's day drinking. I'm doing stonemasonry.
Yeah, I think I'd like to be that
Okay,
guy.
so moving on. So then Macdonald comes back
You
in.
almost said that earlier,
And then
too.
he comes out. I'm going to keep saying it. I've
Yeah.
been drinking as much as he has.
Yeah.
I just need to throw up.
Someone's going to vomit.
Sir John Abbott, let's take a look. Handsome guy. Look at those. Like,
Look at that.
I don't know how they have these mutton chops and had straight faces. Like, they just, I mean, because no matter what era of history, it looks ridiculous. And he's like,
Well, he got rid of him in the second image.
Yeah.
He caught on to something. He's like, that's not cool.
So-
Or in the second image, he's missing his mutton chops.
yes.
Yeah. First
So-
one, he's like, I don't know if I should have mutton chops. And the second one, he's like, I miss my mutton chops. This guy can't make up his mind.
Can I get my mutton chops back?
Should I have mutton chops?
So
Anyways.
he's from Lower Canada, now Quebec. He's going to be and we're gonna rip through some guys. They're very short in
Isn't
office.
everywhere in Canada technically Lower Canada? We all just hang out near
It's
the border.
Lower Canada and Upper Canada, just terrible names.
Yeah.
So he's a liberal conservative, but we'll just call him conservative. He's only going to be in power for about a year. Moderate conservative, business friendly, very pragmatic. He served actually a lot from the Senate, but it's going to be him who's going to deal with this transition period because McDonald's actually going to die.
Right.
And after his second term, and so it's kind of a period of like, what do we do without our founding father? And he's going to keep he's going to keep the new country very stable during this kind of leadership crisis.
What was his experience before
his
coming
background?
in? Yeah.
I think mainly just I don't know.
Was
what
he a
his job
career
was.
politician?
Well-
How do you gain experience as a politician in a country that never had politics?
Oh, sorry, he was a lawyer.
He
a lawyer.
was.
He was
Okay.
a lawyer.
So, right.
Yeah. I remember reading that and then that was one of the I was like looking up fun facts and it's like he was a lawyer. I'm like, that's not a fun fact.
That's a boring fact.
So he was the
Maybe
first.
if you like cross country skiing or something like that.
Yeah,
it'd
no,
be fun.
he's not interesting. Let's move on.
Or snowshoeing.
He
at
has
the time.
one cool thing that he's about to say, and I'm going to say it. He was the first prime minister to be born in what became Quebec, but he apparently said, I hate politics, and then he became prime minister.
Nice.
So he's like, I hate politics. Now we get to my boy, Sir John Thompson, okay? And this guy,
Oh.
if he looks like he's about to have a heart attack, just wait.
Because he is.
Brr. So he's born in Halifax, Nova Scotia, the Paris of the Maritimes.
And the heart attack capital of Canada.
So he's only going to be prime minister for 2 years. He's another conservative. So the
And he's
conservatives
stuck
are kind
to
of
the
dominating.
sideburns.
They're dominating. He's a big straw, law and order. He's a big institution builder. He was another lawyer. He was advanced legal and judicial. Now,
And slightly reclined at all times.
well, let me tell you about his fun fact.
All right.
I love this
Snowshoeing.
so much. Yeah, so not only did he not snowshoe, he literally had lunch. He went to England,
Mm-hmm.
had lunch with Queen Victoria,
Yeah.
and then dies of a massive heart attack in Windsor Castle.
Oh, no.
He's like, I say, Johnny, are you okay? Yes, Your Majesty, I feel perfectly fine. You're sweating all over my crumpets. and then
and my
and
corgis
then- and
are
then he-
getting nervous.
And the Queen had just made him was a member of the Imperial Privy Council, which was like a great honor. He's knighted
that probably
and everything.
stressed him out.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I can't be a member of the council. So his heart
going to
literally,
do?
I think his heart exploded 30 seconds after the photo on the left was taken.
Seriously?
Nope.
Oh. He looks like he's about to have a heart attack in both of them.
These buttons are too tight, goodness gracious.
I should have had single row buttons.
So he dies straight up, and now it's like, okay, we've got another leadership crisis. These guys, like, it's just been one kind of quick guy after another, and it's not going to get better. So now the
How do you
conservative,
get your cholesterol high back in the 1800s?
yeah, probably drinking heavily,
Sandwiches.
eating lots of bread,
Yeah. Carbs.
and sitting all the time.
Right.
Right?
He wasn't an active guy. He worked hard.
I don't know.
Interesting.
As we go on, I'm going to know more about certain prime ministers. As I mentioned,
So
like
you have no answers for me. is
Yeah,
what
I've
you're
no. I mean,
trying to
I've
say.
answered. I said
I'm
lawyer.
just
I said
kidding.
lawyer.
What did he do?
In the comments, like, he actually wasn't a lawyer. He was a solicitor.
Yeah.
He was a
No,
legislator.
they're definitely gonna. No one's gonna rip
Yeah,
you
yeah,
apart in
no,
the comments.
no,
Who knows Canadian
no, look at me.
history except for you?
He pronounced Sir. he pronounced Sir John Thompson incorrectly.
I remember actively avoiding Canadian history when I went to college. I was like, I think I'll take American.
Dude, I had to read. I finished my undergraduate in history, and I was like, I think I want to be a teacher. And they're like, well, did you take these 3 Canadian histories? I'm like, obviously not. So I had to take them after I was done my degree because I was like, and I just hammered out Canadian history. But I have found.
I know
new,
that's shameful to say.
I have found a new enjoyment of Canadian history, and we have a good time.
Yeah.
Now, Sir Mackenzie Bull. Let's take a look, Dan. There he is. You like that fur coat, John?
Another heart attack victim. Yep, I love that
It's
coat.
a great coat.
That
I
looks
love
like
that coat.
it's amazing how men's fashion became women's fashion,
And vice versa.
and vice versa. Yeah.
Well, I mean, really, without the fur trade, Canada is not a country,
oh yeah, of course the fur trade.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Look
The
at that.
only reason
That's
people-
beaver pelt.
There's how many beavers died to make that? He's like, we should make the beaver our national animal.
So
Why?
many.
Well, there's 20 that are on my coat. All right,
Where
so
are all those top hats now?
yeah,
They just end up in a landfill.
I think they're recycled and made into new beavers.
Oh yeah, right. They became beaver coats for beavers. The new generation.
Yeah, a bunch of naked beavers running around.
Beavers are cold. We must help them. That was back before global warming, of course. We needed to.
All right, so he's another conservative. So we're banging out. We got tons of conservatives in a row. So it's gonna continue.
Right.
But so he is a traditional conservative, loyal to the empire, because of course at this point Canada is just a colony, a dominion of Britain.
Right.
And
so all these guys have British accents.
they would dabble.
And they're
a bit.
saying stuff like "Bye, Joe."
I mean, he was born in England, so he would most likely have had a British accent.
Right.
And he's the guy who's actually going to serve as prime minister from the Senate. So he is never elected. So it's kind of hard. He's going to have some tensions with his cabinet because they're going to be like, we're all MPs. Where are you? You're not coming into the House of Commons. He's like, oh, I'm trying to be in the Senate. And they're like, you guys don't even matter. And he's like, oh, yeah? I do matter.
Look at my beaver
Look at my
coat.
fur coat. Like, everyone thinks your beaver coat is a joke. We all talk about it in the House of Commons.
It's a woman's coat. No, it's not.
So his own cabinet rebels against him, and he famously goes, you nest of traitors.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very cinematic of
what?
him.
Canadian history's boring? Look at that freaking guy. You're going to say,
You're right. I take it back. Guys yelled at each other on the occasion.
we got vomiting so far. We got a guy dying of a heart attack in front of Queen Victoria.
We got a guy coming up with a line that you might hear in a sea-level movie, like Transformers 2.
You den of vipers.
Yeah.
Or it's even biblical.
Yeah,
Now,
that's right.
okay,
That
so
does kinda
next,
sound like
anyways,
he's
he's only in power for 2 years. Next, we have Sir Charles Tupper. Oh yes,
he's
Yes.
a decorated veteran.
Look at those medals, John.
Nice. Are
John's
your pants
kind
down? No.
Oh, he's- Sorry, sir.
What is
Could
that?
we do the next photo with your pants down?
You got to get higher resolution. Higher resolution
Oh, sorry, they're
images
taken
here.
in 1896.
I could barely see the mutton chops on the third guy.
That's because they're wide.
All right. Yeah.
Now he's conservative again.
right.
Strong federalist, railway supporter, big fan of the empire. extremely short term.
Who wouldn't support the railway? You know, you kind of have to be
Expensive.
anti-growth.
Expensive, yeah. And it would be like, well, the French, because every time a new province was added, it added more power to the Anglophiles, the
Right.
English-speaking people.
Tell me Quebec the whole time wanted us all just to hang out there with them.
I don't want to go off about the French again. But
We already did that in
I don't know
another
how
episode.
we're going to, like, Canada cannot stay a country while
Don't
the
worry,
French-
we won't translate
All I
this
know is
podcast
they-
into French.
They lost the Battle of the Plains of Abraham, and it was the best thing for them. They lost the French-Indian War. They lost the 7 Years' War,
Yeah.
and then it became a British colony, and then they got everything they wanted. So if we had lost, sorry, not we, if the British had lost the French-Indian War,
It's okay. we
we'd
can
be
we.
speaking, or French would be our like main culture right now, and we'd be getting all the rights. British Columbia would be like, hey, we want this, and we're going to leave, and people would be like, yeah, give them their
Interesting.
stuff. Okay, so Charles Tupper, conservative. Extremely short term, couple of months, 69 days actually.
Couldn't keep his pants
He's
on.
the shortest serving PM of all time.
Yeah.
And he
How
was.
long is that?
And when he asked me what his job was, John asked me what his job was.
What was his job?
Medical doctor. Don't trust him.
That's probably why he didn't last
He's
in
like,
politics.
he's like, I'm a medical doctor. They're like, what's your main treatment?
Proctology. It's like, you know what? I don't like politics. I like being a proctologist a lot more. I thought I'd
Going
do a
back
lot
to
more.
my main passion, proctology. Don't you do mainly bleeding? That's correct.
Oh, we would bleed people out.
That's what everybody does for like 800 years. Everyone's always
Right.
like, trust modern medicine. You know, for like 800
Or drink
years,
gold.
800 years, it was just like, bleed them. Why? Well, their four humors out of balance.
Or feed them some heavy metal
Like-
mixture.
Taking just, like there, when we get to our president series, there's like presidents, like people die because they're just taking pints of blood out of them. There's like, you feeling better? I'm feeling something.
I definitely don't feel pain.
I see, I can see Dad. So
yes.
yeah, he's the only medical doctor to ever become prime minister.
Maybe we could use a few more with that level of education, frankly.
Yeah, we could use some medical doctors. There hasn't been too many medical doctors to become president of the United States until Jill Biden. All right. Now, sorry. Let me correct myself. She was not a medical doctor. Now we have a quick little rhyme because so he is going to become the leader of the Conservatives, and then they're going to lose the election.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing where like the party chooses the prime minister, but if he can't win a general election, then he or she does not get to be PM. So this rhymes with our sweet dear Kim Campbell, who we'll meet in the next episode. And she became the leader of the Progressive Conservatives and then lost in the election to Jean Chrétien.
Oh.
All right, so now we head into our next stage. So that's the Confederation era. Boring stuff. Sure, fine. But now we get to your guy. Right?
I love him.
Sir Wilfrid Laurier. He defeats Charles Tupper in the election, and he is going to be one of our big boys. Let's take a look, Dan. Handsome. Kind of looks like actually Chancellor Palpatine, like Senator Palpatine in Phantom Menace.
Except less evil. Well, yeah. Pre-electric.
More French, less evil. Yeah.
Pre-electrocuted.
The attempt on my life has left me scarred and deformed. So he is going to, his dates in office will be, listen to these numbers.
I love the $5 bill, by the way.
It's a beauty.
It was my favorite
It's
bill.
the most butch
Fondled
of
bill.
the Canadian bills. It's at least it's the least purple.
Yeah.
So 1896 to 1911. Those are big years. Did you hear those years?
Sorry, 1911 is where it ended. When did it
so
start?
1896. That's like, what is that? That's 15 years he was prime minister.
That's pretty solid, yeah.
Think about that.
That's a good run.
That's crazy.
I don't think they should have that amount of time allowed to them, but whatever.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
you're correct.
I mean, I'm impressed by it, but I'm also kind of mad about it.
And he's
I'm
going to
feeling
be
very
really
conflicted.
not the father of the modern Liberal Party, but he's going to finally bring like the Liberals into power. Because we've had, let me just go back here. So we've had Macdonald Conservative, Mackenzie Liberal, Abbott Conservative, Thompson Conservative, Bowl Conservative, Tupper Conservative. But they've ruled for a very short amount of time. Then Laurier comes in, and he is the 15-year Conservative. And he is going to be the one, because he's French-Canadian, he is going to be the one who's going to start to moderate this kind of English and French Canada. He's going to be all about continental expansion.
Nice.
He's going to be about compromise. Straight
to the Yukon.
He made this bilingual compromise, right? Where it's like, so this French and English are going to emerge as the two languages and cultures of Canada, and one cannot exist without the other. And he is, of course, the first French-Canadian prime minister. And he came up with this old fable-like idea. He said, sunny ways. Sunny ways, the idea that the sun...
You saying that Trudeau co-opted that slogan? Dang it.
I wouldn't dare. Well, Trudeau saw himself as...
as a Wilfred?
No, he saw himself as the messiah of the Liberal Party, right? He is the chosen son. So,
well, didn't we all?
So I continue to.
Nope.
Yeah.
So, look, I'm going to be honest. Dan, your anti-Trudeau politics make me sick. He's a hero, all right? He spent more money than all prime ministers combined, and that takes talent.
And if you weren't paying us thousands of dollars to be here, then we'd walk out right now.
I would walk out on behalf of Katy Perry's everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah,
she
he had
is a
this
national
sunny ways
treasure
approach,
as well.
and
She's Canadian, right?
because he said, "Who?
Katie.
No, I don't. Is she?
She's not. I'm thinking of someone else. Avril Lavigne.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
She might be. I don't know.
Should we look it up or who cares?
I'll look it up.
Don't look it up. Who cares? Do not. We're going to the prime minister.
I just want to talk
you
about when
mention-
do we get to Katy Perry?
If you mention Katy Perry more than you mention Sir Robert Borden, I'm going to throw up.
I think I'm going to bring up Katy Perry every 5 minutes,
Which
and I'm
one?
going to mention
Be like,
California
well, when
Girls.
did he date Katy Perry? So
Everybody's got Katy Perry.
Wilfrid Laurier, listen to the controversies that existed with this guy. So he wanted to create a small Canadian Navy.
Oh.
And this time, the Canadian government is tiny. There's nothing there, right?
Right.
And that's the both in the American and the Canadian system. We started so small, and now in the current age, the governments are bigger than any private company. Many private companies combined. So there's the famous naval controversy.
Not a good thing.
He goes, we should build a small Canadian Navy because a war is coming.
Mhm.
And people are like, no, just send money to Britain's Imperial Navy. They've
'Cause
got
they have the best
the Royal
Navy
Navy.
ever.
Yeah. They're like, just do that.
Yeah.
So imperialist English supporters, Anglophiles, were all ticked off. But of course, the French weren't happy either. Why?
Because they're French.
And we're going to come back to that. In fact, I'm going to say,
Like, oh,
how
no, we
French
are
were
French.
they? No. History Rhymes is brought to you by everyone who hates France.
Whatever
No,
brand is anti-French.
I mean, to be fair, in Quebec today, they do not have to learn English, whereas we have to learn French. Once again, we should have lost the
I didn't
7
learn
years' work.
French. What are you talking about?
You tried. They tried.
They
You
tried
s-
to make me.
Yeah. What's le professeur?
Ah, the teacher.
There you go. He knows French.
Dang
so
it.
they got me.
It's stuck.
So
Sacre bleu.
the French Canadians are like, if you build a Canadian Navy, it will bring us into the British war that's coming, right? Which is the Great
Everybody
War.
wanted to be in the war.
So,
Yeah.
so that is the end of him, the big naval controversy. And now we head to Sir Robert Borden.
What kind of
Come on
boats
down.
did the
Hang on,
Navy
did
have?
you say that ends his political career?
Yeah.
What? Wanted
I
to
think
get
the naval-
To build a navy?
It's too expensive.
Fact check me. It was his big controversy. I don't know if that was what eventually brought him. Now,
Wow.
one thing I will say about
Well, it was
Prime Minister-
controversial because it was so danged expensive.
it was expensive, and because no one supported it, and because they were like, the English were like, why don't you send money to support the Royal Navy, because they viewed themselves as British still, very much so. And the French were like, stop dragging us into British affairs. If we build a navy, they're going to ask us to use it when they go to war with Germany.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, that's why you just keep it small boats.
yeah,
Like
Like,
5 guys.
I like it now
Just drinking.
because now
Fishing.
now we have more submarines in the West Edmonton Mall than we do in the Canadian Navy, and that's nice.
Yeah.
Um,
That's nice. Are they
so-
all hanging out at like the pool? Like where are
yeah,
they?
yeah. They're in there. You can just watch them.
Oh,
They're not in the pool. They're in like these little things.
West
tanks.
Edmonton Mall has one of the largest wave pools in the world.
It's one of the largest malls in Canada.
Yeah, with one of the, I think it's the second
if
largest.
if
Forever
you're listening
21.
and you're able to point out, it's so big they made it Forever 22.
Yeah, exactly.
So, one thing to say about prime ministers in Canada. So, prime ministers are not voted into power as much as they are voted out.
Nice.
So it's not like we were such big fans of Justin Trudeau. It's just people were tired of Stephen Harper.
right,
So because they don't have an end to their term, they don't have a term limit,
right.
that their support eventually wanes.
It is pretty exhausting, and unfortunately, what that does is it causes pretty extreme swings. It seems, right? Because it's like
no, we're actually not going to see that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to contradict you.
I'm never wrong on
you are
this
correct.
podcast.
You are. I usually go yes, John, and then redirect.
And then
but
like you make me feel good. It's like
sorry.
nice, pat you on the back.
You know what? Let me rephrase.
Yeah.
Between Harper and Trudeau, huge swing.
Well, that is a huge swing. That's what I'm talking about. That went, but that probably just becomes an escalating thing throughout time, I'm sure.
That's part of just the increased polarization everyone's facing.
Well, I guess it's not a bad
throughout
thing.
the 20th century. I mean, it's going to be minimal. The prime ministers who stay in power are the ones who can compromise. They can be very even boring. Are like there's going to be a guy we'll meet in a second who governs forever. He is prime minister forever.
John Gretchen.
And that's all right. Sir Robert Borden,
Here we are.
handsome guy.
Oh,
Who's that guy on the right there?
That's Winston Churchill.
He's back.
He's got.
The bloody Canadians fighting my war.
You can't see it, but it's cropped out. His left hand, he has a champagne bottle.
Yeah, he's like,
Gotta stay
And a cigar.
loose.
Yeah.
all right. So Robert Borden,
those hats.
9 years in power. He's a conservative, but they would change their name
We got to
later.
upscale those images.
Yeah, he's freaking out about these images here. Jeez, who cares?
No more photo.
Yeah, you're done.
cares,
You're cut off.
kid?
You're not allowed to look
You're
at
not
any more
allowed to
photos.
talk to images anymore.
I really
That's
like
why
that
I
Winston
look at
Churchill
them.
photo.
I like that one. Yeah, it looks good. Don't worry, guys. We got it. We're good. Carry on.
So he is going to be the prime minister during World War One.
Yeah.
And World War One, or
That's
the
a
Great
big
War,
one.
yeah, it's where Canada grows up. It's where Canada, if you think of Confederation as birth, the Great War is when we move out of the house or we become like an adult.
Mhm.
And it's going to be, in many ways, it's Canada's war. People don't want to hear that, but the Canadians were known as shock troops in World War One.
Weren't they pretty brutal? The
They were
Canadian troops?
absolutely vicious.
Yeah.
So at one point,
We're
they-
very well known for being like just brutal on the battlefield.
absolutely
In both World
in
War
World War
One and
One.
Two.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
the trenches, I've heard a lot of stories of Canadians from the trenches. They're pretty. They weren't they the ones who were throwing over food, and then they would throw a grenade.
yeah. So the Germans are like,
I
oh,
love it.
it's so good. There's oh, they even had my favorite bread.
Yeah.
Oh, is there more bread coming? Steiner.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's vicious.
Wasn't it because of acts like that the Geneva Convention there was a lot of things within that
Yeah.
actually set some of the rules of
Yeah.
war. That the
Yeah, I mean,
Canadians,
not just because of the Canadians, but a lot of that's going to be just the horrors of World War One, especially the
mustard gas,
chemical
yeah.
gas used.
Yes.
But yeah, so he is going to lead us through World War One. A couple more things about just the shock troops. The Canadians, so Sir Arthur Currie, he takes over the Canadian regiment. He allows them to fight together. He gives them more kind of autonomy. He develops this idea called the creeping barrage,
Mhm.
where the artillery provides supporting fire, almost an umbrella over, and it moves up slowly as the troops move up slowly.
Right.
So there'll be some cool pictures and stuff you can find because the creeping barrage is really sweet, and it's going to allow
we
the
won't
Canadians.
show them to me here because I'll be distracted.
No, you can do it for a reel or something. But
Yeah.
the creeping barrage is going to be why the Canadians are going to be sent to take the toughest positions that no other ally can take. So that's going to be the famous Vimy Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
Which no one else could take, and only the Canadians could take. And the Canadian press was literally like, Canada's born. Like this is our. It's amazing how in the horrors of war, they act as like a forge to create a tempered nation. And so the Canadian soldiers, they were known. The Germans were terrified of them, and they were known as the shock troops. They took Passchendaele Ridge as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were heavily relied upon. And this started to give us a national identity. Beforehand, we're trying to just, unite as a country, and we're trying to come together. But World War I is where Canada becomes a nation. And Robert Borden is going to lead us through that. But he is going to have a few tricky things. He's going to have to put a wartime economy in place. They're going to institute a temporary income tax. Temporary.
Mhm.
I'm so glad they got rid of it. Can you imagine if we were paying income tax now? That'd be crazy.
insane. It'd be so crazy.
Oh man, well, thank
We
goodness
do.
that's over.
But we pay so much. And And he's going to help. So one of the things he's going to push for is after the war's done, they're going to have the Paris Peace Conferences, and he's going to push for Canada to have its own vote and its own seat at the Paris Peace Conference. So now we're not just part of Britain, but we are actually getting to be more autonomous.
Our own representation.
He is the last prime minister to be knighted while in office, so he's Sir Robert Borden. But he is going to face the conscription crisis. So this is going to be a crisis. So by 1917, of course, volunteers have run low. I think at the time our population's like 9 million. It's very small, and we're launching thousands upon thousands of guys, and the death toll is very high. So Canada needed more soldiers, but of course, people aren't volunteering. So he brings up the Military Service Act, which would force eligible men to serve overseas.
Yeah.
And
eligible.
Canada's split. I'm going to give you a hint. I'm going to let you question. What side do you think the French Canadians were in support of sending troops overseas to fight this war?
Yeah, definitely.
So English Canada supported the draft.
Yeah.
French Canada, especially Quebec, strongly opposed it. Shocking.
Nice.
France is trying to survive as a country, and the French Canadians are like, that's why we left.
We don't want this war.
So he did. This crisis really damaged French-English relations. It did. Because the English Canadians are going, why aren't you doing your part? Of course, under this time, the German Canadians are also treated very poorly as well. Because of yeah, so there's some nastiness there, but we will do a series on World War I. We don't want to stay too long on Robert Borden, but I think if you're trying to find a place to start studying Canada, World War I is actually the coolest place to start, because you're like, there's so many interesting stories from World War I. And the movie Passchendaele, I think, is probably the best Canadian-made film.
I forgot about
Passchendaele. It's a really, some of the acting's not great, but it's a really cool film. And it shows just the brutality of World War I and the Great War and trench warfare. But now, very, very quick, just I love little facts about So there's 3 contributing factors to trench warfare, why it happens. So it's just a stalemate. They're going to fight 4 years over a couple hundred kilometers, right?
Yeah.
Back and forth. And there's 3 things that made it a very defensive war. Number 1 is a canned food. So there's invention of canned food in the late 1800s, which means you can feed armies and it won't go bad. So you can actually keep them. Before, Napoleon sending his armies out to gather food all over the place and just,
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Whereas now you can
Foraging.
plop them down in a trench and they can just, pound back some
beans,
some
spam.
I don't think spam had been invented, but beans. Just
yeah.
Oh, geez, Fred.
Yeah.
And second, so that number 1's canned food. Second is barbed wire. So barbed wire we look at it now when we're walking by, farms and stuff. It's a horrifying thing.
Yeah. When
like
you think about its actual...
to run through no man's land and to get to the other side. And barbed wire would just shred your skin. It'd get caught in it. You wouldn't be able to get. Yeah. It also ended cavalry charges. There's a really cool scene in the movie War Horse where it's the last cavalry charge ever, in Europe, where Benedict Cumberbatch, Tom Hiddleston, they're all like, they get up and there's this beautiful field and they're the cavalry and they're just ride like, knee to knee, and they're riding on this German camp, and the Germans are all just, having breakfast with the boys, and they're just like, and at first the British are slicing them and everything. Yeah. And then the Germans run for the forest, and then we meet our third factor that led to trench warfare. The machine gun, the static machine gun, right? Like it's not like World War II with the Thompson, you're running around like that.
Yeah, the Gatling gun.
Well, it's
not a Gatling gun,
but it's and so that
was in Last Samurai.
That's why, Stop. No, but
these are the Last Samurai.
I will tell you how he lived. But no, and then you just see this scene in War Horse where the machine gun's going, and then the horses just ride by them. They've just shot all the riders off. So the Germans are like, and it's just this chilling scene. Yeah. And Tom Hiddleston's like, no. And it's a bit much. And you're like, Tom,
calm down.
So he dies, and
Yeah,
so
these
those three
innovations
things,
in war
it's
are
not
always
well, and that just led to 4 years of brutal static war, similar now to the Russo-Ukraine War, which is almost this kind of, in some way, repeat of World War One, and it's very static, and they're going back and forth fighting over these little bits of land. But
I always find that very fascinating, because trench warfare still happens to this day. Obviously, it's a big part of the Ukraine-Russian war.
yeah,
Like just like the idea of just digging these holes in the
Yeah.
ground for them to run through, but shoot at each other from other trenches
Yeah.
over kind of like, it just kind of almost feels like a pre-organized like war game
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. Cause it's like, it's usually on farmland, right? Where they can do a lot of this stuff, or rural areas where they're just kind of like facing off and raiding each other. It's just a very,
well, it's kind of like they're still doing that like gentleman's war style before that, right? Where,
Right,
like,
yeah.
You had the muskets, so you had to line your guys up, and that's essentially trench warfare. It's just gentleman's warfare, but you've dug down.
right. Yeah.
And it's funny because the British-French trenches were horrific. They didn't have drainage, so you get
Right.
trench foot.
Gentleman's warfare in the sense that it's like, all right, boys, we're all going to get our men here, and then we'll
Yeah, I
shoot
mean,
at each other.
at
and
least- I
people
mean,
will die.
By 100, that's how it kind of was more in the 18th century.
Mhm.
By 100 years later, you have the American Civil War style, where it's like you just have to line guys up because the guns don't shoot very far, and you have to.
Yeah.
And then you have cavalry, you have artillery, but you have the bayonet. It's still close combat.
Mhm.
Whereas World War I, they almost like are going to do that with cavalry and huge artillery, and then those three factors come in,
Yeah.
and it becomes this extremely defensive war where it's like we need to dig down, and now all of a sudden it's just a face-off. It's going to be last man standing.
It's a lot more. It seems a lot less gentlemanly because,
It's
like,
yeah.
the old style almost feels like, okay, you guys get your shot, and if you are good shots, well, touche. Like,
yeah,
it
I mean
kind of
that
feels
never.
like
Yes,
that.
that's what the sketches. They never really were exactly like that.
They
but
were,
yeah.
But it always, that's how it's always painted, right? It's
Yeah.
like you get a shot, now we
Yeah.
get a shot,
Yeah.
and then
First
you get,
volley.
yeah.
Yeah.
And almost
But-
it's like that's fair.
You are right in that. So World War I is going to do a lot of things, which is why we'll have to do a series on it. But it's going to break the world. Like it's actually going to shatter this aristocratic, balance of power in Europe, where before World War I, Queen Victoria's children are all in power. Her grandchildren are all in power, and Queen Victoria is keeping the peace all throughout the 19th century. There's no big war
Right.
between the Napoleonic Wars and the Great War.
Mhm.
So there's the Crimean War. There's all these little wars happening, or but there's no like the Napoleonic War really is a world war, right?
Right.
And so is World War I. And
I
so
can't
it's-
wait to learn about the Napoleonic
Yeah, it's gonna
War.
be great. But World War I is it's gonna kill off all the aristocrats because they're officers. And in Gentleman's War, you wouldn't generally shoot at the officers. Now they're gonna be the lieutenants are the ones who are gonna be leading the guys over, and they're gonna get. They don't even have usually they have a little pistol,
Yeah.
so they're gonna get shot first, right? So
That seems extremely impractical, running across with a pistol.
oh man, everybody's gonna be like in the first day of the Battle of the Somme. I'm pretty sure 50,000 men died.
Right.
Like it is the largest death toll on a single day of war.
Wild.
So there.
Yikes.
This is Canada's going to grow up. The world's going to have to grow up. The world changes.
Mhm.
Empires die. Russian, Austria-Hungarian, Ottoman, and what's the fourth? German. The four empires come
They
down.
all fall down.
Right, but Britain stands. Don't you worry. We'll
And of
take
course,
on
Quebec.
We'll take on Jerry. And you know who else falls is Winston Churchill. And we'll
Oh.
talk when we get to his story. We'll talk about how he planned a very foolhardy campaign in Gallipoli that ended his political career, or did it?
Yeah.
Now, so Robert Borden finishes off.
He also the war of which one did he was he a POW? I can't remember.
well, he fought in the Sudanese wars.
It started with a B.
Boer War.
Boer Wars.
He was a journalist in the Boer Wars.
Oh, is
He was
that
a
what?
war
But he got
correspondent.
captured.
So he
there,
got
though.
captured as a war correspondent.
Right. Yeah.
And then he wrote. Did we already say this? Where he wrote when he escaped. He wrote like a letter saying like, "I'm sorry, but I cannot stay." And,
Very British apology.
Yeah, no. He made fun of them. He's like, "I wish you all the best," and then he just was like, "I'm Winston Churchill, so I do what I want."
I'm the best.
Absolute stud. So. Really, we will just be able to piece together all the Winston Churchill things, and that'll be our Winston Churchill series, just because we mentioned
he has
him
a
so
through line, throughout
much.
everything.
Yeah. There's one common denominator.
Winston Churchill.
Never surrender. So, okay,
I'll
so
never
the war,
vomit.
the
Sorry.
war ends. The Spanish influenza wipes out more people than the war worldwide.
Nice.
And things are going great. So, a Conservative Party guy comes in. His name's Arthur Meehan. Let's take a look. Arthur Meehan.
Artie.
Handsome devil. Great orator. Great political or a great public speaker.
Is that a telephone on his left there?
And he's like, I say, can I speak to...
Operator, get me the government of Canada.
So he is... So you all the government. Silence! Fire that woman.
I know. I'd like to talk to myself.
He's going to have to wrestle with the sort of post-war unrest. Whenever war ends, the veterans come home, the women have taken their jobs, and the women have now got the vote, and the veterans are all like, what did we go to war for? We don't have our jobs anymore, and there's going to be all this unrest. And he's a small government conservative. He's anti-debt. He's all about, like, we got to get our spending back under control.
Mm-hmm. Fiscal responsibility, we love that.
He was prime minister twice,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to be very limited time. He's going to get really screwed over.
And just to be
but he
clear,
was
the
no-
income tax is still with us at this.
I don't know the exact date of when it ended, but I know it did.
Oh, it did end.
No,
Oh, right. Yeah, right. We got 30%.
like honestly, I'm just glad. One of the cool things that our municipal government just is, they took our property taxes, and instead of just being one huge amount that gives us nothing, gives us water.
Oh.
Like, they give us basic necessities for a huge price. They split it in two.
Yeah.
And because they're like, you're stupid, right? You're a dumb tax-paying citizen of Canada. And we're like,
Yeah.
of course,
There
naturally.
you go, dummy.
So they split up. They go, you're dumb. And you're so dumb that we're going to say look at these two smaller payments.
Yeah.
If you add them together, they're more than they were before. But you're so dumb and high on marijuana and drunk on Molson. And you're stupid. You're a stupid Canadian citizen. So eat your Uber Eats and shut up.
Yeah. That's
And
nice.
you're going to pay both of these.
Yeah.
And we're going to be like, well,
But
obviously.
if you
like,
look at them separately, they're quite small.
obviously, and they're not even small separately.
But you're dumb. You don't know
and
what
they're like,
small is.
The price
dummy.
of your house just went down, but your property taxes still went up.
Nice.
But don't worry, you're a dumb, obedient subject.
So have some Molson and
Shut
scream,
up in
I
your
am
small
Canadian.
apartment. Yeah,
We
and,
love-
go, and elbows up, guys.
Yeah, and here's
elbows
your
up, and we're
hockey-
like, that's right. We're not American.
And
No,
just
we're having a
remember,
good
in 4 years, Team Canada will play at the Olympics, and you'll
Yeah.
be happy.
And we'll have our bread and circumstances.
Yes,
now,
we will.
So
we have such a very
We don't have to
simple.
wait that long, guys. We
We
have
have
the
such-
Olympics. Or no, not the Olympics. What is it called? FIFA.
Oh,
we have FIFA has come to Vancouver.
Thank goodness.
All the unhoused people have been shipped to Abbotsford.
Yeah.
Not
Love it.
relationship,
Thank you for
just
that.
shipped.
I haven't
to
seen any
Abbotsford.
of them yet. Not that I live there.
So that's
That's
so
true.
that's what happened.
Apparently, there are like how many hundreds of like many thousands of tickets haven't actually been sold still to this date for the
So-
FIFA tournament
Apparently, the city of Toronto bought a whole bunch of tickets
to scalp them.
and then scalped them. Literally, they're selling them
Jeez.
back now, and they're calling it a great investment opportunity for the city.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
And that's
That
how
is
government-
scalping. If you do that privately, you would be fined tens of thousands of dollars
And
for
you would
scalping
lose money.
tickets.
yeah.
It's nuts.
Well, now we're just
But
gonna
hey,
have a
this is
bunch of
Canada.
government of or city of Toronto people out there scalping tickets and polo shirts with the city of Toronto logo on it.
Get your ticket
Get your
there.
tickets, yeah.
No, FIFA's
Uh,
great. It's a huge investment for our country. The 2010 Olympics essentially put a big for sale sign on Canada and destroyed
yeah,
everything.
inflated everything. Yeah.
And hopefully FIFA does the same.
Yeah.
So
We'd
let's
love
talk
that.
about let's talk about this King Bane crisis. Because I think this is something that no Canadian knows about. I mentioned it, and we'll in between these two episodes, I think we'll release our little section, our 20-minute thing that goes into this as well, the Statute of Westminster. So the William Leon Mackenzie King, he will come
It's
to
quite a
power
mouthful.
Heck of a
after
name.
Meehan. Take a look at him. He's famous for his dog. And
Hey.
there's
Roosevelt.
Churchill and Roosevelt. That's when they're meeting. I think they're discussing the Atlantic Charter there.
Is this when Roosevelt wasn't in a wheelchair? Or they put him
he
in
is
that
in a
chair?
wheelchair, and then they put him in a chair.
For a nice
Because,
photo.
of course, the press kept that secret from the American people. Can you imagine that?
Oh,
One time I said he was I was teaching a class, I said he was the longest standing president.
who didn't
And
stand?
then I said, oh, wait, I've misspoke.
Yeah.
So that's King.
Laurier.
And King is going to begin
What did he have, by the way, before we move on
Polio.
from him? He had polio?
He literally went to a Boy Scouts fundraiser.
Oh.
And those boys were just riddled with polio. And so he's
The polio convention.
he was quite athletic, and he went to, I can't remember which vacation home was his. It's hard to keep the Roosevelt wealthy homes together, but
Yeah.
so he's swimming, and he just noticed his legs started to run out.
Sinking.
He had a really, because his wife hated him, he had a really good mistress. I can't remember her name, but she would massage his legs, especially during World War II, because the muscles would get sore.
Yeah, wasn't there a movie made about that girl?
No, that was his cousin.
It was
She
called The Masseuse.
she
No,
was-
there was a movie with Laura Linney.
I know what you're talking about. That's his cousin.
Okay.
She was just nice to him.
Oh.
She just was, because
I-
his
that
wife
wasn't-
hated him.
That wasn't an affair.
Really?
It was not an affair.
Why
Are
would
you
she
sure?
hate him?
I'm
Like,
pretty
you
sure
can't
there
even
was an affair.
walk.
That's a story for another time.
Oh, okay.
We will talk about FDR another time.
But we'll talk about this guy and his terrier.
So William Leon Mackenzie King.
Dog person.
Okay, let me introduce him, and then we can talk about the King being crisis. So, now we enter what's called the long liberal century.
Okay.
Okay, so the liberals are going to dominate from Mackenzie King onward.
Oh, boy.
All right. Now, the liberals under Mackenzie King's, they're pragmatic, they're centrists. They're actually what we used to think of liberals growing up. There was like, if the NDP are left wing, the conservatives are right wing, the liberals are centrist, which
We've
is why
lived
they're going to
through
dominate.
that era.
Yeah. So they're about
tail end.
They're about gradual reform. They're
Mhm.
about national unity. They're about limited social programs, but not, like it's just a centrist party.
Right.
And
And they got
that's-
rid of the income tax. Oh, wait, no. They didn't.
That's why he is going to be able to stay in power. So the conservatives are going to, at this time, they're going to be more stronger ties to Britain. They're going to start moving towards this like very low government interference with business,
Mm-hmm.
and more
free enterprise.
more free and more reform. And we're going to slowly see the development of the it's the CCF, but what's it stand for? It's the the Canadian Co-op Federation. I can't remember. CCF, it will become the NDP.
Yep.
They believe that capitalism had failed. They're a socialist party, and they're a democratic socialist party, and they're going to be about public ownership, workers' rights, unions, welfare state. We'll forget about them for a second. They'll be huge players in the 1960s and will change everything.
Right. Okay.
So Mackenzie King, he is, now listen to these dates. So he's from 1921 to 1926.
Okay, we got 5
Then
years.
Meehan comes in for like a few months,
Yeah, just
and then he beats Meehan out, even though he tricks him kind of with this.
how many
this-
months is he in for? 6, 5? Matt
A
leave?
couple. He comes back in, and
Mm-hmm.
how did he do it? Like King did this like little trick because King had a minority government, and he triggered an election, and he got back in. Then so he's
That's
in
nice.
he's in from 26 to 30, and then 1935 to 1948.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. 1935 to 1948.
It's a long time. Tom.
Right, so that's 13 years after he had already governed
for 5.
for 9 years.
Oh, for 9.
So
Sorry.
this guy, for most of the 20s, 30s, and 40s, he is our prime minister. He was never married. He had a dog that he loved, and he governed through seance.
I remember this
so
guy.
he would speak to the dead.
Yes.
He'd talk to his former family members, and once his dog died, he would talk to his dog, Pat. Let's go back to the dog there, Dan.
Back to the doggy.
So this is our country. God help us.
Didn't he have a transformational effect? Well, of course, it'd power that long if he did. So basically, this seance spiritualist Satanist guy is
he was
coming up with his
very-
ideas through ghosts and dogs.
He's
and-
very eccentric. He kept extensive diaries about his private life and thoughts. Some people think that like him and R.B. Bennett, not together, but they like because the conservative who's going to rule just from 1930 to 1935, also unmarried.
he looks like he's seen a
They
ghost.
might be same sex attracted, and that's why they back then men just didn't get married or just would stay single. But he is going to be they called it King's Canada. He's a defining prime minister for us. Independent. It's going to be under him that we will have. No, that's not true. It's going to be under Bennett that we have the Statute of Westminster. But he is going to be. What was this thing that he called? It was. What was it? Socialism without revolution or something like that. He was not a socialist, but he was just like flexible, and he rarely led with bold ideology. He was like purposely boring. So that he was just this like centrist, continually thing. He could read public opinion like a map. He could balance between English and French. He kept the Liberals in the political center, and he would delay. He would compromise. He would say just enough to keep groups going. And during World War II, he did not force conscription too early because he had learned from Borden's failures. But yeah, he was not flashy. He was cautious, and he sort of moves them slowly towards a welfare state after World War II, but he did not want to hand out money. So
That's
the
good, at
king
least.
being crisis. So his liberal, let's go back to the 1920s. So his liberal government was accused of allowing bribery and smuggling inside the Department of Customs. This is, of course, during the Prohibition era in the United States, and the Canadians are rum runners, smuggling rum and liquor through Ontario into the United States to the speakeasies.
Macdonald wouldn't have liked this era.
The speakeasy.
Run the ad again.
Now, he did not have a majority government at the time, so that means that his party had less seats than the other parties combined.
Yeah.
But he still had the largest party. So after the 1925 election, Arthur Meehan's Conservatives actually won more seats, but King stayed prime minister by relying on support from a small group of progressives.
Mhm.
This is what Justin Trudeau did with the NDP against the Conservatives throughout the early 2020s.
But of course.
So he is facing this scandal, and he's most likely to be defeated in Parliament. So he asks the Governor General, the King's representative in Canada, Lord Julian Byng, to dissolve Parliament and call an election. Byng refuses,
Hence the controversy.
arguing that
Ding, ding.
he argued that Conservative leader Arthur Meehan should be given a chance to govern instead because he has more seats.
Oh.
King's going, let's just have another election and maybe I can win a majority.
Okay.
And Parliament had not run its full term. So Meehan does, in 1926, he briefly becomes PM again, but he loses the confidence because King has Liberals and the Progressives so they can vote against him. And it forces an election anyways. So
right.
King turns this crisis into a nationalism issue. He's going, we as Canadians need to be able to call elections when we want. We shouldn't have to rely on the Governor General who is ruling on behalf of the British King. And this is an unelected British-appointed Governor General. Now the Prime Minister appoints him, current day. And he has interfered with Canada's elected government. So this then breaks the power of the Governor General. And we, in the short term, you're like, okay, this is more democratic. Now the Prime Minister doesn't have to rely on Britain, doesn't have to rely on the Governor General, and can finally just be the Prime Minister. He's really just, the head of government.
Yeah.
But what this does is it removes
Checks and balances.
the check.
Yeah.
So now you don't have the Brit, because in the British system, really.
So this further centralizes power into one person.
Yeah, to the one. So once again,
that.
it's like, now I'm not saying
Guys, we don't want that.
we teach the King Brain crisis is like, look at this as more Canadian autonomy because we don't have to rely on the Canadian system. But what it actually did was it removed the Governor General's ability to check the Prime Minister's power because now the Prime Minister just appoints the Governor General.
Right. So he's just a shill.
Yes, it's a rubber stamp.
But I can see how this slippery slope makes a lot of sense in Canada, though, because it seems like when a lot of these things end up kind of slipping through the cracks, they kind of feel almost like in that scenario, it's like, oh, more Canadian autonomy, where we're being our own nation.
Yeah.
But in reality, it creates a governmental problem by losing a check.
The problem is,
And Canadians, I could see seeing that as a good thing, just because it's patriotic.
It totally makes sense, right? To become, but unlike the Americans who just were independent, we're going to ooze into independence slowly, which is why we're not naturally rebellious people.
Right.
Right. Our whole country is defined by compromise, middle power, all this kind of stuff. So what it's going to do though is the constitutional monarchy system that we have. It has different parts. It's got aristocracy, which is the House of Lords in England. That's where we have the Senate. It's got the regular people in the House of Commons. That's why it's called the Commons.
Right.
It's got monarchy.
And those are our MPs
So it's
and all
got
that
monarchy, democracy, aristocracy.
It's interesting.
All three together. What we did in the King Byng crisis, we removed monarchy from that equation. And we go, no kings, yay. The monarch actually is there to ensure democracy survives.
Right.
He can, so, you know, Queen
Which is,
Victoria,
it almost feels unnatural to say that, though, because a monarchy, you know, it's a...
but he or she is this long-lasting, like, you know, Queen Elizabeth would meet with each British prime minister once a week
Really?
to hold them accountable. And they would have to, because it's her government.
She'd have to keep going all over the place.
She would just sit, and they would come to Buckingham Palace, and she would meet with them on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
There's a play written about, it's called like the 10 Prime Ministers, where it's just the meetings between the Queen and the 10 PMs. Yeah.
Sorry, this is weekly? Between prime ministers?
No. The Prime Minister
Right.
of Britain
Yeah.
would meet with Queen Elizabeth
Once
a week.
I was like, I thought you were saying prime ministers.
So think about, so then she is able to just ask questions. Oh, why did you do that?
Right, I
and
see
she was
here.
great at being politically neutral. That's why she was such an amazing queen. So, but that's
Seemed
holding
like a
him
nice
accountable.
lady.
The Governor General is not holding the Prime Minister accountable. The Prime Minister can fire the Governor General and kick them out, and has. And I mean, the last few Governor Generals we've had have had to resign under scandals, but Trudeau wasn't the best at picking them.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish with
he loved
RB.
a good scandal,
Let's
too.
finish with RB Bennett, and then we'll close off as we're about halfway.
Yeah.
And then we'll head into our second part when we come back. RB Bennett, a bit of a scowl on him, Danny boy. If we take there he is. There's him and his buddy King together. So he is going to be prime minister in between some of King's terms, 1930 and 1935. He is going to be a much more classic conservative, business-oriented, law and order. And he has he's the Herbert Hoover of Canada.
He looks like Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life to me.
Looks exactly like him.
You just hand that to me. You just hand that bag to me.
You've lost all your money.
He had the unfortunate consequence. I'll wait. I'll wait till you.
Sorry, Jono's references are so on point.
It's
good. It's good. It's tight.
Yeah. We did use some glasses, but anyways, go ahead.
It's good.
Yeah. Let's just focus a little bit.
No, it's good. So his government, we can go to get him off the screen. His government has
Stop distracting, John.
He's unfortunate to face the Great Depression.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Which, of course,
how did Canada do through the Great Depression? Because, Harper did decent for us through the 2008 housing crisis.
Yeah, we
didn't even feel that. We were just coasting along. We're at the lake.
Yeah, we were at the lake. We went to Olive Garden. Everything was fine.
We're at the Olive Garden.
I literally have a memory of being at the Olive Garden. My dad's, and it's just filled. And my dad's like, yeah. And they say we're in a recession.
Yeah.
People
More breadsticks, please. Well, everybody was getting the soup and salad, so.
Yeah.
Not the pasté fagioli.
Canada does not great because our economy is heavily tied to the United States. Also, there's like major droughts throughout the prairies, and
Hold on a second. I worked at the Olive Garden in 2008.
I think you caused the recession.
I did, yeah.
John, if we lose one more hot cross bun,
we're not going to be able to sell any tortelloni with braised beef.
So
my favorite dish at the time.
So he is going to try and be. So anyways, yeah, Canada's going to get hit really hard across Canada. There's going to be like sandstorms in, like, you can see pictures of like in Saskatchewan where the prairies are like, there's like cars there. It looks like a desert, like these huge sandstorms.
Just getting chipped away by sand, or they're like covered in sand.
They're like it looks like a desert, like it's covered in sand.
Huh. Interesting.
And so it's gonna be a really rough time.
Bad for the crops.
Now we'll go. We don't have time to go into the Great Depression or the causes. We should actually. That's one my dad would be very good at coming on, because I do not really. He's told me many times I can explain certain things, but he actually is very good at explaining not just why it occurred, but why it lasted forever. And it's actually going to be FDR's fault why it lasted
forever.
Yeah, why it kept going.
Well, we can get your dad on the podcast, lift the restraining order, get him in here.
He's too expensive.
Yeah.
So Bennett is going to do kind of like low spending. He's like, I'm not handing, I think he's going to say like the provinces can deal with it, and the provinces are like, the cities can deal with it. And the cities are like, we're going to raise property taxes. We're going to split it in two.
Yeah. Let's do an income tax. Oh, wait, we already have that.
He makes, when you're dealing with a crisis, make a decision, stick with it. He flip-flops. So near the end, he tries to introduce the Bennett New Deal. He tries to copy FDR, but he's no FDR. And FDR was really good at selling his product, right? He'd be on the radio doing his fireside chats every week.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So unfortunately, everybody just made fun of Bennett. And broken down cars pulled by horses were called Bennett buggies.
No way.
Because they're like, this guy sucks. So
Really?
he's in power
They're
for 5
pulling
years.
cars around with horses?
And he sucks so much. So he's kind of like wealthy and a bit more like, he's the opposite of king.
Wow.
He later moves to England and becomes Viscount Bennett. Like he becomes like a nobleman. Yes.
awesome.
So it's pretty sick.
It's like Count Dooku not being a Sith.
It's very similar to Count Dooku. And I'm glad you bring
It's
that up.
extremely similarly
This is
structured.
why we call it history rhymes.
He's not a Sith
right?
Lord, he's a count.
It rhymes with a
Star
galaxy far,
Wars.
far away.
Exactly.
It's true though. We like it.
Well, that's just quantum physics right there.
Yeah. So let's contrast King and Bennett very quickly, and then we'll bring this to a close with a word of prayer.
Spooky action at
So
a
both
distance.
King and Bennett, they're lifelong bachelors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. At the same time.
Which makes their rivalry like they did not. They clashed badly. They're almost like two weird uncles fighting at a wedding or something. Like there's like spend the money, and it's like you guys should maybe spend less time with your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Bennett.
some weird tension here. I
Bennett
don't know how to read
was forceful. He was wealthy. He was blunt. He had eyebrows. He was impatient. He screwed over George Bailey.
He had eyebrows. Yeah, right.
King was like cautious. He was slippery. He was clever, and he was spiritual.
Oh, yeah.
But he was also politically flexible. He was like, oh, you guys, like he recognized after World War II, he's like, oh, Winston Churchill loses the election in 1945 because he calls the Labour Party Gestapo. He goes, they'll come into your house late at night to take your money like some sort of Gestapo.
He just drops it lightly like
that's
a
how he did it.
Gestapo.
Like he's never like a pump up. Everyone's like, he's a great orator. If you listen to his speeches, like we shall fight on the beach, he's like, we shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall never surrender. Like I was playing it for my students, and they were like, okay.
Like, I don't know if I would want to fight for this guy.
Yeah. So Bennett,
but he was always painted as a very like charismatic,
Yes.
Convincing
I mean, back
leader.
then, if you could like function, like there was so little competition. Now we
mean,
got kids dancing in Target now. Like, how do you compete with that, right?
I just showed Tom a video of someone dancing in Target.
And I was like, what's Target?
And
So
how is this possible?
But Mackenzie King could read the political landscape very well, and so he sees after World War II, he's like, okay, we will introduce some social reform. We'll introduce some unemployment insurance, like safety nets, because these veterans are coming back, and he is going to guide Canada through World War II. It's also just, I mean, it's kind of easy to stay a leader during a major conflict like that. Like
No one
FDR
wants to
does.
change
Yeah.
anything. It's too much
of course,
unrest.
Canada has a huge part to play in World War II, but unfortunately we are used a lot more poorly by the British and the Allies. I wanna just do a quick shout out to Hong Kong. That sucked. 1,500 Canadians captured. I want to do a big shout out to the Dieppe raid, known as the disaster at Dieppe, where they were like, it's Fortress Europe. The Germans have taken over everything, and I think it was Mountbatten planned this. He's like, let's send the Canadians for an expedition. It's like 5,000 Canadians are sent to the coast of France. The Germans see them like 10 minutes away, so they're just waiting. Think about it, like D-Day has 200,000 guys, 150,000 guys.
Yeah.
They're like, send the Canadians. So they go in, and I think it's like 6 hours of absolute bloodshed where the Canadians can't even get their like armored cars on. And so the British sell it. They're like, it was an excellent trial run. We learned a lot. The Canadians are wiped out or captured.
See, that's how I would have originally thought, like, they would treat the Canadians throughout the war entirely, just as this expendable, like, group of guys. But we were also very successful. Shout out to our Canadian forces.
Canadian Armed Forces.
And our veterans.
Best part of our country.
They are the best.
So King and Bennett, they kind of have this back and forth.
By the way, I saw an interesting photo album of Canadian forces training at Kitts Beach for D-Day.
That's sick.
It's kind of cool, because you can see all of the Vancouver area in the background.
That actually would be a great place to train,
Yes.
because I of course swam at Juno Beach.
Oh,
in February.
I've swam at Kitts Beach.
Similar, February of 2011. But yeah, Juno
Volleyball.
Beach is our area that was our part of D-Day that we took. And then, of course, we liberated the Netherlands. So that's our liberated the Netherlands and brought quite a few of those Dutch queens back. We did. We brought a lot of. In fact, there is a Heritage Minute. We'll get to the Heritage Minute. There's, if you can find it, the Heritage Minute of like, it's the Canadians are like marching through like some Dutch town, and then this like Canadian soldier just like shakes a Dutch girl's hand. He's like, "That'll do." And then he goes and meets her, and he goes in. I was showing my students like, "Why is he wearing a skirt?" I'm like, "Oh, right, it's called a kilt."
Yeah.
Right. And then he brings her home. They were called war brides.
Yeah.
So Canada actually has a huge influx of population after World War II, not just because of immigration opening up, but also because all the soldiers brought these just beautiful Dutch princesses back.
And that's who lives in Chilliwack now.
Yeah, I was going to say. And they moved to Abbotsford.
Yeah, the Mennonites.
My grandfather was there when they liberated Holland, and he had a Dutch girlfriend. He didn't bring her home, though.
I was there when they liberated Chilliwack.
Some Dutch women you bring home, others you leave them there.
Yeah, exactly.
I should have married your brother.
That's a good note to end on.
No, well, let me just finish.
No, I want to end there.
All right.
I'm just kidding. Finish.
No, you know what? That's good. That's
no.
actually good. So we'll end with William Lyons Mackenzie King. He is done in 1948. He's finally finished. And then we head into the post-war prosperity and the rise of the welfare state.
My favorite state. We're going to have a good time with that one. And income taxes are still here, right?
Till the end of time. Death and taxes.
That's right.
All right.
Thanks for having us, everybody. Have a good one.
Thank you for joining us for the History Rhymes podcast, possibly the greatest podcast in history. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, catch you later, historians.